together.
Yes, exactly. And then we did it in Dharamshala.
Yeah, Dhanshila, yeah.
Yes.
I am in touch with Dr. Saab also. I think yesterday we had a chat with him.
Yeah, he was telling me.
Speaker से करो.
Rumal do.
Vinita, can you hear me now?
Vinita ma'am is muted.
Can you hear me? No, but you are on mute.
Okay, somebody's muted me from the Adam, I think.
Yeah, so I've unmuted you. Fine.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay, fine.
Somebody saying, Meenakshi saying we were looking forward to seeing you on the virtual platform.
Meenakshi.
There was a question also how to integrate art in artificial intelligence also.
Okay.
I was
Yeah,
reading
so
the
we
questions. Yeah.
how to what?
Yeah. How to integrate art in virtual
Virtual
intelligence.
learning.
Artificial intelligence, sorry. Artificial intelligence. Art in artificial intelligence. How to integrate.
How do you integrate? First of all, you have to know what artificial
So,
intelligence
you see, the way
Yes.
we are talking is also part of artificial intelligence. We don't know how we are connected through where. It's all artificial intelligence. We're not doing our own intelligence. It's
True,
the
true, true.
intelligence which is called remote intelligence
Yeah.
through the machine.
through the
Yes.
machine. Yeah. I'm happy to be called panelist. Huh? Panelist. But I'm sure if
What?
somebody must be watching us, they must be thinking these panelists are happy. Normally they're very serious now, thinking they are doing very, very serious work.
We love to talk. We love talking.
Yes. By 3 we have to start, no?
Yes.
So 285, 286 have joined, and I think people are joining.
It's
14
a good
participants,
time.
and
It's post
yeah,
lunch, so it's good.
yes. That's what I was requesting you to give some at 9 or 10 some webinars. So in that way, many people can join.
Yes. So, if you know somebody, Richa, there, would you be able to share with them that if they can give me the screen share as when they want, like whenever they want?
What exactly you said? I couldn't get your last line.
So I said if you could tell them to give me the screen share screen,
Okay, okay,
because I
okay.
will be sharing
Ashok,
it.
Ashok ji is there.
Yeah.
Ashok ji, please allow the screen share to Surya.
Ma'am, there are authorities to share all of them.
Already share. Okay, all rights are given to you, Surya.
Okay, they're there already.
Yeah,
Fine.
already given.
No, this stops other screen sharing. Do you want to continue? Shall I continue? Uh,
Yes,
Ashok, can I
you can.
continue, or do you want? You're showing something.
No, you can continue, but
I'm
we
continuing.
have
Okay.
to start exactly at 3 because Hanji,
Yeah,
Hanji Ashok ji. Ha, already here I've told him.
I'm done.
Yeah, you just check.
I will do.
Yeah.
You going to start saying something, or do you want me to start straight up there? You will start. Would you say something?
Yeah, I would say something on behalf of full marks, and then we will start. I will take just 2 minutes. Anubha Nijavan, Principal, Indian Public High School, and then from Sonali Mukherjee to all parents. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Sonali Mukherjee. So 354 have joined, 355 now, 358 participants are there. That's
All
too
right.
good.
Great. I think this is the first slide, Richa.
Surya, we will start exactly at 3.
Yeah, we'll start at
Actually,
3.
more than I think 505 people will join on this Zoom, and rest all will see us on YouTube.
Perfect, perfect. That's fine. So,
Almost
3 o'clock you will start. You will
36
welcome everybody, and then we will start.
Yeah, we have received more than 4,000 registrations.
Yes, great. Congratulations.
Really great.
I'm
Yes.
going to stick to this number of 4,000, right?
They're joining in every minute, every second.
More than 4, yes. Now
Yes.
it's like 429. If
Right.
I'm speaking, and then the number is increasing, 431, 433,
34.
yeah.
That's a
Yes.
good sign, a very nice, encouraging
It's
sign.
just because of your both aura, ma'am, Surya and you.
Nothing like that. It's your endeavor, Richa. You made all the effort to reach out to people.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's all like behalf of full circle, full marks also.
Yeah.
They are very good people. Very good people. They
Yes.
are
I spoke with
very
Rajat. It was good to speak to
Rajat.
him.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Very
good
nice people.
with him.
Yes. I am the author of their publishing house also, no?
Wow, great.
So right now I'm writing for them. Almost 72 books I have completed for them.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a large number, huge number.
It's just because of God's grace.
Yeah, great.
Still 10 minutes are left.
Yeah.
I know. So you'll start at sharp 3. I've got a clock right in front of me, so I will go by the
Yes.
clock. And what time do you recommend we finish?
We will continue till 1.5 hour. If
All
you
right.
permit, yeah, if you permit, if you
Yeah,
will
that's fine. So I think we should be able to finish. We have about 32 slides.
Yeah.
We should be able to finish all of them, and we have lots of discussions. So you can move in. Rajat, I would recommend you can also move in. Anybody can move in if you want to say some points. And lots of time what happens if somebody is missing. I mean, if I'm saying something, you have something beyond that to say. So you can say, okay, while I agree, I have this to say. So then we'll add something to it. So it's not like a webinar, serious one. It's fun thing so that they get some lot of value.
Yes,
Got
exactly.
to be interactive.
Full of life.
Yeah.
And experiential, so they'll remember.
Exactly.
Online, that's the only way you can be, because if you are on site, then people can see you and you have an aura which people go by. But here there's no aura. So yeah, if you make it interactive, light and easy, then people find it valuable.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Savita Sutar from SNB. I think ma'am is very busy to read all the chats.
Vinita, yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading
I
because
don't see. I put the slide up. When we put the slide up, I can't see it.
no, I can see something moving so fast. Before I can read, it's just moving on.
Yes. And
That's
now it's
artificial.
507 participants are there.
That is artificial intelligence on play.
Yes. I think more than 507 cannot enter in this. That
Okay.
is the maximum limit.
Is it?
Yeah, it
Yes.
stopped at 507.
Yes. Now,
stopped?
yeah, it is stopped now.
So now they'll go on Facebook.
YouTube and the this website also, Full Marks. There will be a live also.
Okay.
Very generously, you put our faces as big and yours small. Thanks for being generous. No,
I think
no,
this endeavor has done by Mr. Ashok Mishra. He's also the part of this webinar.
wow.
He's a
Ashok,
very
welcome. How are you? Can we have a look at your face, Ashok?
he never comes in front of.
Yeah, he's coming. He's
He's
planning now. Looks like he's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Ashok. Good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Can't see you, Ashok. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ashok,
great. It's good.
He's a
Yeah, so,
nice,
Ashok,
nice gentleman.
Ashok, we are no panelists. You could certainly join in if you thought that will do good to the webinar. We are all here to make the webinar great rather than showing our greatness.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
We are not ex-directors, NCRT, neither CBSE nor any of them. So we are not here to show any of that greatness, that they have. We are ordinary people, so you can join. Everybody can join in and say something if we thought that will add value to the participant in the webinar. So we're here to make the webinar great. That's it.
Thank
We're
you.
all learners, Ashok.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's the spirit. And if Rajatji is there, I must request
Yeah,
him
Rajat,
to
would
show
you,
his face
Rajat, would you
also.
not want to show us your face so we meet on street and we recognize each other?
Yes.
Rajat, would you want to show us your face? Rajat, would you want to put the camera on?
Rajatji is a very young guy, but very energetic and very patient person. And very good manipulator, very good manipulator.
Oh.
I must compliment him. He orients mind like in जैसे कहते हैं ना चुटकियों में सोच बदल देते हैं. He's a very good person. And when you sit in front of him, you automatically he just talks and you will speak the ideas. He has that art.
So, Ashok, after listening to all this great stuff about you, would you not show up your face?
Ma'am, thank you for making me a manipulative.
No, I mean,
I was just saying,
yeah, she's not saying something. I think,
See,
I mean,
in a very positive way.
yeah. So you're an
Very
influencer,
positive note, I have said.
influencing. So that's one of the skill for 21st century called the influencing skill. That's what she meant.
So if you're taking it a negative way, I can say sorry, but it was in a very positive note.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard the positivity.
yes, exactly.
Okay, I have Bunny, also my colleague who's here. Bunny, hi.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, good afternoon, sir. Sorry.
We always do the morning session, so he's got used to that line. Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
How are you?
So Bunny is going to provide any support that we need. Is the sound coming right? But Bunny, I think the humming is still there a little, right?
No, sir.
Actually, not there. Okay. I could hear when I did the check of the speaker.
If it comes, then I'll let you know, sir.
Okay, so let me play some video and see whether the sound is coming out, because then you get stuck. So I'm playing some video, Richa, you'll have to tell me whether it's going.
Yes.
So the next slide is the video.
Sure. That will be a trial run also.
Yeah, it's a trial run. Recce, R-E-C-C-E, Recce. All right, so here it is.
Yes, it's working.
Okay, let me play one more so that you know it works. Is this working?
Yes, sir.
Working. 2 minutes to go.
I'm just putting it back now.
Sit back here.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the set.
Almost 1 minute.
Yes.
And 508 participants are there. 9 participants have raised their hands also.
Yes.
20, 23 have raised. They are there. 31 have raised. 30, 40 have raised.
Wow.
Ashok Mishra ji saying welcome all of you. Thank you, Ashok ji. Just
Thank you,
1
Ashok
minute.
ji.
1 minute is left.
Also,
Surya sir.
people have joined us on
Yes,
YouTube.
good to see you. Good to see you.
But I can't see Rajat ji speaking.
He's here.
I can't see him.
You can see him. He's here.
I think just let me scroll down the screen.
More than
Yeah, he is there. Rajat ji.
more than 100
Hello.
people are watching it live on YouTube now.
Okay, great.
Surya sir, please edit my name if possible.
Okay, I will do that.
Half a minute.
We don't.
54 have raised the hand. 55. And now it's 3. So Rajat ji, with your permission, shall we go ahead?
Yes, ma'am. We can start now.
Okay. Ashok ji, please connect with YouTube also.
It's already connected.
Okay, fine. So, a very good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Full Marks Private Limited, I, Dr. Richa Sood, extend a very, very warm welcome to Mrs. Vinita Kher and Mr. Surya Narain Bahadur, the eminent speakers for the session 21st Century Competencies Building. And my heartiest greeting to all the national and international participants, principals, heads, teachers, and friends. The internationally acclaimed and leading publishing house from Full Marks Private Limited is publishing book of K to 12 with high content quality. Have taken up this initiative through the series of webinars to reform, redevelop, rediscover, redesign, and to strengthen the teachers with this similar vision for their competency building for 21st century. At the optimum, under the able guidance of experienced, eminent academicians, pedagogical leaders, master trainer of principals, master life coach, former director of DPS Society, Mrs. Vinita Kher, and better than the best, stalwart of training and motivation industry, Mr. Surya Narain Bahadur, who will provide us the vision and academic road ahead. I would love to offer my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants for showing such an enthusiastic approach for the webinar, and Mr. Surya and Mrs. Vinita ma'am, like we have received thousands of questions, and Mrs. Vinita ma'am and Mr. Surya, while their presentations, they will give the answers and insightful vision to us. Now over to Surya and Vinita ma'am.
Vinita, just go ahead. Welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. First, I'll have Vinita say something, then I'll start, and then we will interchange our roles. So welcome to the program. Over to Vinita.
Warm welcome to everyone on this platform. It's a pleasure indeed to have you all with us. We've been reading the chat box and getting to know from where all of you are. And what a joyful feeling to see that each one from such distant lands are with us today on a learning journey. 21st century competencies. Both Surya and I are going to endeavor as learners in the same journey to share with you certain areas of competencies, 21st century competencies. We are all learners, you're learners. Together we form a platform of learners. And indeed, by the end of, say, about an hour and a half, we would have found so many of our questions answered. Thank you, Rajat ji, for having us here. Thank you, Richa Sood, for having us here. And thank you, Surya, for giving us this opportunity. Over to you, Surya.
Thank you very much. Okay, first of all, a very, very warm welcome to each one of you, whether you are here on the Zoom platform or you're any other platform, Facebook Live or Full Marks Private Limited's website or just anything. I really want to give you a warm welcome to each one of you. And thank you very much, Rajat, Dr. Richa, Ashok, Bunny, and Vinita to join me in this journey of the 21st century competencies, which is like a must-know thing for everybody, like so important. Okay, so while we are thankful to each one of you, I want to play a video to start the program with. What each one of you sitting wherever you are could be thankful for. So before we start the presentation, listen to this video. And while you listen, just clap, enjoy the music. And please, before we start, I want to tell everybody one thing. All the PPTs, all the videos, and all the material that we'll show will be sent to you free, courtesy Full Marks Private Limited. All right? So please, if you don't get it, I will share my number. I will send it to you. So you can send me your email. I will send it to you. But we have already shared all the data with Full Marks Private Limited and Dr. Richa. They're going to share with you. This is not an ordinary webinar where you wouldn't get. Everybody should aspire to get it. If you don't get it, do call me. I will send it. That's my duty. That everybody will get all the PPTs, all the videos and everything. So before we begin, here's a video. So what could you be thankful for? Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So prayers for great health for you and your families by having these preventions. So wear a mask, wash your hands, cover your mouth and nose, avoid care facilities, practice social distancing, clean and disinfect anything that you touch, homestay when you are not well, and maintain healthy habits. So these are some of the requests I would make and prayers for you and your family's great health. Lockdown opening up. So lockdown is opening up because of economic activities are must, and therefore there are two things to look at: viral load versus immunity. So these are COVID risk index, and the areas which is red on my right or the right of the screen are the high risk areas. So those are to be avoided. The orange is medium and high, and then yellow is medium. There's low and medium, and there's low. So the low ones you can certainly go, but avoid the red ones unless very essentially to be taken up. So why 21st century competence? Before I talk about that, let me share one thing with each one of you, that I have been doing competency building programs for almost like 20 years. And each year I've been doing about 300 programs out of the 365 days, 300 programs on different competencies across the globe. So I really love this word called competencies. We're going to talk about that. What is competency? By the way, competency is just attitude, skill, and knowledge. If we didn't know what is competency, then these are attitude, which is the desire to do work, skill, which is how to do it, and knowledge, which is what to do. So these three elements put together are called competencies, which are very common in most of the big companies. I do India's best companies, like the #1 company, the #2 company. We do the world's Fortune 500 companies, and that's what we do. And everybody run their company, do their business based on competencies, take the interviews based on competencies, do every activity based on competencies, so that the results are as planned. Desired results show up as we planned. So why do it? My first answer is why do it is here is the answer. Why do it? So that educators and students get their ikigai. Let me introduce this word for some of us who would know, some of us who wouldn't know. Let me clear it up for everybody. So what is an ikigai? So an ikigai is a Japanese concept, which is meaning a reason for being on the planet Earth. So it has a combination of 4 elements. So first is what you love to do. Second is what you're good at. Third is what the world needs from us. And then the final is what the world can pay us for. So a combination of all this, which is a common subset of all this, is called ikigai, which covers mission, passion, profession, and vocation, all of them together. And that is why we are trying to understand the 21st century competencies, which is like a foundation for most of the boards across the world, including our biggest board of India called the CBSE. So we're going to talk about that. But this is the reason, so that every child, every educator gets their ikigai, all right? Where you have the delight and fullness, where you have satisfaction of feeling of uselessness if you just do what you love and what you're good at. Then you're comfortable, but feeling of emptiness if you're just doing the profession. And you have excitement and complacency, but sense of uncertainty if you just do the vocation. So you have to do all together: passion, mission, profession, and vocation all together. And then you get the ikigai. Please write the word. It's a good word to remember. The next is, when you are listening to this conversation, when you apply, when you take the PPTs from Dr. Richa or Full Marks Corporation, please remember to have these 3 words, to apply these 3 words: acceptance, enjoyment, or enthusiasm. You can use one of these formula for every problem, every issue you face. Either you can accept the issue first, or you can enjoy the issue, or you can be enthusiastic about it. All right? So these are 3 words to look at when you're doing it. 21st century competencies, a mind map. So here's the mind map of it. So the moderator, Dr. Richa, is doing, and Vinita and I are going to take you through this journey of this whole mind map. So let's see, what is this mind map? So the 21st century is first, the objective of the 21st century competencies is to make a global citizen, somebody who fits in anywhere in the world. And to achieve that, we have these basic competencies which we are looking at. So we'll start with, first is ethic, morality, and sustainability. Sustainability is that we let the earth be green, which is environmental issues. Then we have IQ, EQ, SQ, PQ, which is intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, spiritual quotient, and physical quotient. And of course, the passion, as I talked in Ikigai. After which we have presentation skill, which means how to say what you know about ethics, morality, sustainability, IQ, EQ, SQ, PQ, and passion. And then we have creativity, imagination, insights, and growth mindset. A very important thing which is happening in the world is a growth mindset, where we say we want to learn something new. We are not stuck the way I am. So we are looking at new things. Then after that, you have multilingualism, which means we appreciate all languages of the world. We appreciate Hindi, we appreciate Sanskrit, we appreciate Tamil, Gujarati, everything, SMEs, and of course, the foundation language is English literacy, because that is the connecting language. So we also do that. We also have in the MindMed digital literacy and artificial intelligence and various other things, data, let's say fluency and everything. Then we have strategic thinking, which is answering various questions: why it happened, how it happened, what is the solution, and all that. And then you have the problem solving and collaboration skills. So these are the 21st competency basic framework. Before we move to the basic framework, we have these key ingredients I will talk about, and then I'll show you a National Skill Development Corporation, beautiful video done by India's #1 advertising agency. So here is the first thing. So first is K, which is knowledge. What is knowledge? What and why to do certain things is knowledge. So if you multiply K with skill, which is S, that is, so you multiply knowledge with skills, which is S, which is how to do it, then you get something which is called ability. Then you have attitude, which is attitude, skill, and knowledge of ASK. So attitude is the desire to do work, multiply this with the situation you are in, like you are in the COVID-19 situation. So if you multiply attitude with the situation, you'll get the motivation to doing whatever you're doing, as most of the educators are doing in most schools, everywhere. They're teaching online, they're learning new things. Most of the schools didn't have the time to provide them with the knowledge, and they're doing it themselves. So everybody's learning them themselves and doing it. Children are so happy doing everything online. They're preparing slides. My wife also teaches in a school called Manasthali, and she's telling the students to prepare slides, and they're preparing the slides, and they're so happy, they're excited. I'm going to do this, ma'am, I'm going to do that. They were never excited as much as now they are. So the parents also reporting the children are so excited to study online. So that's the attitude or the motivation of doing it. Now you have ability multiplied by motivation, and then you come to performance. So the performance is the factor of ability multiplied by motivation. And then you have global or organizational productivity, which is performance multiplied by various resources. We'll talk about what are the various resources, and you come to organizational productivity. All right, so let's see this beautiful film done by India's #1 advertising agency called O&M, and the lyrics are written by Prasoon Joshi, the #1 lyricist of India. And then we have the director and the people who are speaking. So I'll play a little and let's see how it looks like. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video of National Skill Development Corporation of India. All right, sorry, I'll have to do the pointer. Just my apologies. All right. Bunny is working?
Yes, sir.
तेरी मंजिल तेरे अंदर तेरे रास्ते तेरी किस्मत तेरे हाथों चुन ले अपना सफर सफर तेरा हुनर हुनर तेरी कदर कदर 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 रात की मेहनत रंग लाएगी अब सुबह पे हक जता ले अंधेरों से
India as a country, in terms of the demographic profile, is one of the youngest countries in the world, and it's likely to be so for the foreseeable future, at least up to 2040. By 2025, we are likely to exceed the population of the world, namely China, and will be the largest populated nation. It's absolutely important skilling our youth for the future, and their ability to participate in all aspects of our growth is very necessary. When we talk about a skill, we essentially mean ability to work in a trade. Examples could be carpentry, masonry, welding, plumbing, electrician, maintenance of farming equipment, service industry, BPO operations. Every one of them require doing something with your hand and your ability to visualize a product and or a service.
In 2008, when a review of the skill development efforts in the country was done, it was felt that we need to involve the private sector in skill development. Because if India were to realize the demographic dividend, it was necessary to take the skill development capacity in India.
So when you add attitude and knowledge to skill, then it becomes competency. Please remember that. I really want to show this ASK, which is written here on top. Skill is the entry-level people concentrate and develop and work on skill. And then as you grow, you need competency, which means you need the attitude, the desire to do work. You also need the knowledge, which is what to do and why to do that. All right, so look at these various things which are happening all over the world. Let me sort of put that up for you. How everybody's talking about skills and what is the level of skills of various nations across the globe. And then it'll answer lots of the questions that I think Dr. Richa shared with me. So look at Time Magazine, it's saying how to build a student for the 21st century. Look at America working, the skill gap in America. Look at the Indian education world, it's saying education agenda for 2019. Then look at this thing from Singapore, it says, what are future skills? Then look at this 21st century skills, can the US compete? So it's saying, what are the various, let's say, Japan being the #1 in the whole list. Then you have Finland, then you have Sweden, Norway, Netherlands, Austria. So these are above average, international averages. And then below averages are Denmark, Czechoslovakia Republic, Korea, Germany, Canada, Slovak, Flanders, UK, Estonia, Ireland, Poland, US is quite low. And so that's how it is. So these are various nations which appear on the list of skills. So I just wanted to bring in how everybody's talking about these skills, which is the entry level, and then attitude and knowledge to be added to it. So 12th July, we had Malala Day, and let's see what Malala says. So education is education. We should learn everything and then choose which path to follow. Education is neither Eastern nor Western. It is human. So please remember, that is what she's saying. It's human. So competency building is also human activity. Okay, now let's understand what the employers seek in terms of competency and what is the difference between skill and competency. This is a must-watch video, which is shown in some of the big corporations for the entry team. So this is from Ontario, Canada, that I've got it from, and we're going to show this to you. Here it is. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this video.
ASPE has conducted research to help gain a clearer understanding of the condition of the engineering sector. With greater knowledge of the engineering sector, we can offer more informed support to our engineers. Recently, ASPE conducted surveys to assess the particular challenges you, as an international engineering graduate, face when trying to secure employment in Ontario. To get a better sense of hiring trends, we surveyed 77 engineering employers that employ 4,600 engineers collectively. Out of these 77 engineering employers, 61 of them either currently employ or have employed international engineering graduates.
We dug deeper to see what makes one international engineering graduate more employable than another. We discovered that it comes down to self-promotion. What skills are you emphasizing in your job interviews? Engineering employers place equal value on soft and hard skills, whereas international engineering graduates tend to emphasize their hard skills more. You might be asking, well, what is the difference? What exactly is a hard skill and what is a soft skill? Hard skills are technical, and soft skills are social and behavioral. For example, let's say you just solved a complex problem at work that your colleague couldn't solve. When your colleague asks how you solved the problem, you're unable to really say how you did it. Your colleague goes home without having learned something new. A few different types of skills are illustrated in this scenario. The hard skills are skills such as analyzing data or utilizing specific tools to solve the problem. The soft skill is communication. You use your technical knowledge and skills to solve the complex problem, but your communication skills weren't strong enough in order to teach your colleague something new.
Let's look at another scenario. Let's say you've been working hard on a project over the past few months, but as a result of a few problems along the way, you're worried that you might not complete the project by the established completion date. These things sometimes happen, but what's important is how they're handled, both internally and externally with the client. You might end up using a variety of skills to try and get your project completed on time. You and your colleagues might use your technical knowledge and skills to work out a way to increase efficiency. You might use your communication skills to ensure that your team and your team manager are well aware of any problems you're facing. Perhaps there's some tension among the team, in which case you could use your conflict resolution skills to try and strengthen the working relationship between your colleagues. Were you able to identify the hard and soft skills in this last example? Can you see the difference between hard skills and soft skills? More importantly, can you see why employers value soft skills as much as hard skills?
In the first scenario, you worked through a problem to find a solution using your technical knowledge. The technical knowledge you brought to the problem was important here, but the need for excellent communication skills and a high aptitude for learning were also very important. When your employer hired your colleague would have promoted those soft skills in addition to the required technical skills needed for the job. We learn from each other, and it's very important to be able to work in a team environment and communicate
Look at the various
effectively.
competencies. 98% is focused
Have a look at this
skills.
table and see just how much employers value soft skills. These are some of the skills that you should focus on and promote in
Team is
job
97.
interviews.
Ability to work with diverse group is 97%.
Many engineering employers in Ontario also consider it very important for international engineering graduates to have a strong grasp of the English language.
As we said,
Working to strengthen
very
your
important.
English language proficiency is key. There are many different English language assessment tests you can take to prove your English language comprehension. Some immigrant serving agencies offer language assessments at no cost.
all right. So let's now understand why we need to, or why there's a conversation about the 21st century skills. So let me bring this to your attention, everybody's attention. Why is it? So humanity has lived through various ages. So we had farmers earlier, which is called 1.0 agriculture age. Then we moved to 2.0, which is called factory workers and industrial age. After which our planet Earth moved to information age and we had knowledge workers. They need different skills or different competencies. And now we have conceptual age. So we are calling 4.0. Everybody will be looking at, so in this, which is called industry 4.0. So this is the age for we have farmers, we have some farmers, we have factory workers, we also have knowledge workers, but mostly it'll be the age of creators and empathizers, which means people who can create something new, like anything, an aggregator or just anything, or somebody who can empathize with the customers that they need something like that. And that's why we need new skills. So I'm referring to a new book, and that book is called A Whole New Mind by Daniel Pink. And he says that we will need these old skills or competencies, which is functional, English, math, science, argumentative maths, focus, again, physics, chemistry, logic against maths, accountancy, whatever, seriousness, again, left brain competency, and accumulation, which means social studies, and where is it, biology, chemistry, physics, all that. So we'll need all that. But besides that, we will need these competencies also. So we need design. Everything is design thinking these days. Then we need storytelling. Everybody needs to know. So if you're an engineer, let's say, you got all the accumulation skills, you still need storytelling. You can tell what you've created to the world, and then the world will buy. Then you need symphony. Symphony is teamwork, which means you work with everybody else. You can't just put your music up. The music has to be synchronized with the other people. So that's called symphony. Then we have empathy, which means you have high EQ. We talked about the EQ, high EQ. Then we have play, which means you should be excited about, have high energy, wanting to do something, influencing people and all that. That's called play. And then we have meaning. Meaning is validation. Very important word to remember. Validating people. Validation is meaning, adding meaning to all the relationship, people you work with, the organization in the school and institution that you work for, your principals, your directors, the director versus teachers, teachers versus students, and all the other stakeholders. That's called meaning. So we need these 12 competencies primarily. And these are enumerated in this format. So a major development of the 21st century is, so we have the Delors report, which is learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, and learning to be. Again, the 6 right brain competencies. Then we have WHO skills, decision-making, problem-solving, creative thinking, critical thinking, communication, interpersonal skills, again, right brains. Then OECD, which is another document. So we have 3, communication, information, and ethics and social impact, again, right brain. Then we have P20, which is Cisco. So they have learning and innovation skills, information, media, technological skills, life and career skills. So Vinita is going to talk in detail about that. Then we have ATCS, which is another body from US, which talks about ways of thinking, ways of working, tools for working and living in the world. And then we have revisited, divided all the above research skills and learning. So they have 4. Learning to know, that's Harvard, or UNESCO also. Learning to know, learning to do, learning to being, which is living. That's what Harvard also calls. All right, so CBSE is, enumerated all that into this format. So this is the CBSE handbook, which I'm referring to. And it talks about the 21st century competencies. It's written here, it's the CBSE. So they are talking of learning skill, literacy skill, life skills, which are put into 4 C's, which is critical thinking, creativity, innovation, collaboration, and communication. Then you have IMT, which is information, media, and technology literacy. Then you have FLIP, which is flexibility and adaptability, leadership, initiative, and social cross-cultural interactions. So this skills, and then these, information literacy, media literacy, technological literacy. Then you have the learning skills. So we have critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Then we have life skills, which is leadership, flexibility, initiative, productivity, and social skills. All of these should be promoted through virtual learning that you're doing, which is online. Please remember, students are really liking it if you do it creatively. So, if you do it with sadness and the way we used to do earlier, then it might not work. Let's move. So the resources in business are these. So these 3 resources, the human resources to manage. So everybody who is a child here or a learner will ultimately either do a business of his own or will work for another business, which is government or non-government. And therefore, there are 3 resources: physical resource in every business, financial resource in every business, and human resource. And human resource is the resource that nurtures both financial and physical, which is buses, let's say buildings, and all that is physical. Financial is the money, the fee, all the collections and salaries, and all that is financial resource. All that is managed by human resource. So the human resource needs to be updated with the 21st century skills. And that is what Vinita is going to take you through. So Vinita, over to you. I'll manage the slides. Whenever you want me to put the next slide, you can say Surya next. I'll do that, right?
Thank you, Surya.
All right. So here's the first slide of yours.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm going to take you through a very unusual slide. What the hell happened in 2007? This is a chapter in a very interesting book written by Thomas Friedman, known as Thank You for Being Late. As teachers, we would never use the word what the hell, and we would never say thank you for being late. We'd always ask our students to come on time. But then this is a very interesting book, and I'd like to share with all of you this need for reading this book, because as an educator, it gave me a complete background of what is happening today. In fact, the churning that is happening right now, to me, it was even more relevant when COVID came in. When COVID came in, we were all at large. None of us knew what was happening and what was to be done. We didn't understand whether COVID had started in China, how was US connected with it. We had really no idea of what was happening in the world. And thankfully, when I read Thomas Friedman's book, Thank You for Being Late, the first 100 pages gave me a complete idea of the global scenario. And I particularly enjoyed reading what the hell happened in 2007. In 2020, today, we're all going through this technology avalanche. All of us, you and I as teachers, have suddenly got into this huge, big influx of technology. Remember, in March, we were complacent, waiting for the CBSE examinations to be over. We were tutoring our children to do well in school and well in the examinations. And suddenly, date 20th or 22nd March, everything closed down. And then when it closed down, we worried, what next? What next? And what the hell happened in 2007 came forward. I picked up the book again and it helped me. And I request all of you to pick the book up and try and understand what is it that we have really been trying to handle in the last few months. Now, this chapter talks about the year 2007. All of you will remember 2008, Lehman Brothers. Remember the bankruptcy that happened with Lehman Brothers, the bankers? All of us were worried. We were worried about our bank accounts. We were worried about what would happen to global finances. We were worried about our own bank accounts. None of us looked at what happened in 2007. Now, let me quickly narrate to you what happened in 2007, which had its butterfly effect today in 2020. 2007, the iPhone came. 2007, VMware came in. 2006, Facebook arrived. 2007, Twitter microblogging happened. 2007, change.org happened. 2006, Google bought YouTube. 2007, Google launched the Android. 2007, AT&T, iPhone's exclusive connectivity provider, invested in software-enabled network, expanding cellular traffic by 100,000%.
Great.
2007, Bitcoin came in. Satoshi Nakamoto, that unknown person, started digital economy, and all our class 12 students in commerce were learning about it. 2007, Kindle released by Amazon. It became an ebook revolution. 2007, Airbnb conceived in San Francisco apartment. 2006, internet crossed over 1 billion users worldwide.
Michael.
2007, Palantir Technologies augmented big data analytics, intelligence computing power, and storage, which needed a level that made possible and to create the algorithm. 2007, the Watson Research Center in New York built a cognitive computer called the Watson to push deep questioning and answering, deep analytics. And again in 2007, Intel first used the non-silicon microchips. And that was the turning point of technology. Technology entered every world: medicine, hospitals, food, travel, tourism, schools, and everywhere. So this is the turning point, 2007. And now in 2020 is another turning point. It's a churning that is happening in every aspect, right from medical sciences. Look around you. Everyone is busy trying to figure out a vaccine. Everyone has turned to science. Everyone has turned to technology. So this is the time when all educators, teachers, principals, directors of schools have to pause for a while and think, what is it in 2020 that is going to change in education? What are we doing in education? Remember, we have young children with us. We have children who are just 3 years old with us, and they're going to be, adults when they go into the 22nd century. Remember, today is the 21st. They're all going to be 80 years, 90 years, and they're going to be towards the end of the century. So you and I, all of us have to put our heads together and understand what is it that we are going to give these little babies to make them the best future possible. We are educators and we have a great responsibility on our shoulders. Next, Surya. Now, I'd like to share with you, teachers, principals, the working generation and overview. You know, we've been trying to understand our students and we're trying to understand 21st century competencies. What are they? What are they? And how do we go about in the school trying to teach our students 21st century competencies? Now look at our slides and look at the green column. The green column is the maturists column. That was people who were born before 1945. Perhaps grandparents, elderly people who lived in the Second World War. They lived in a world of rationing, in very fixed gender roles. Their music was rock and roll. They had nuclear families. In India, it was different, but defined gender roles, particularly from women. Now look at how the changes are happening. Their aspiration was home ownership. Everybody wanted to own a home, and it was at the end of their lives, you know, when they had finished their work and they had retired, they wanted a home. And they were largely disengaged with technology, all people. Then attitudes towards careers. They wanted a secure job. The product, it was a big thing in India to own an automobile. You know, cycles and scooters were the only vehicles that people could actually manage. They used the formal letter. Remember the old times, inland letters, the envelopes, the postcards, the telegrams, and communication was all face to face. And everything, even decisions were made face to face in consultancy with each other. Then came 45 to 1960, the baby boomers. You know, Cold War, post-war boom. This was the time of Apollo moon landings. Remember, it was a huge historic happening, the Apollo moon landing. Youth culture at this time took over. Remember the Beatles, Woodstock, family orientation, rise of the teenager. This was a time when people gave, in India especially, a lot of attention to teenagers. Till then, it was the elderly of the family, the eldest person, the grandfather of the family, the grandmother of the family. And now things were changing when teenagers took center stage. Job security was important. Early information technology came in, but it was limited to few people, very, very few engineers. Organizational careers defined by employers. You know, nobody worked by themselves, except if they were in business or in agriculture, but their careers, their organization were defined by that one employer or a group of people. This was the time of television. Remember the television that came in? One in a mohalla, one in a colony. The telephone came in with telephone exchanges where people actually had to go to the exchange to make a call. And face-to-face, ideally, was the communication. Decisions were also made face-to-face. And then came Generation X. Generation X, end of Cold War, fall of the Berlin Wall, Reagan and Gorbachev, Thatcherism. Remember, we did all this in our history and political science. And then we came across Live Aid when social groups moved along, the NGOs moved along, they came up, introduction of the first PC, early mobile technology, and then came the latchkey kids when children were left alone because both parents worked. The word latchkey. We still have those latchkey children in most of our schools. Rising levels of divorce. Look at that, how things have changed from family orientation, from neutral families. Now we come to rising levels of divorce. Then came in the work-life balance. We got digital immigrants, people learning how to, switch on to the phone and to television and to the computer. Then early portfolio careers. Then we had a lot of televisions, the SMS came in, email came in, and person to person was still there. Now let's look at generation Y. And most of us are familiar with these generations. That is the first one where you have the PlayStation, social media, invasion of Iraq, reality TV. We saw Amitabh Bachchan all the time, all kinds of shows. Google Earth came in, the map came in, Glastonbury came in, and then you realize freedom and flexibility came into people's aspirations, where they were closed, house ownership, job security, work-life balance, and then came in freedom and flexibility. All the children born in generation Y were digital natives, born to computers. We said silver spoons. Now it was digital natives. Digital entrepreneurs came in, organizations, factories, everything was building around computers. Then came in the tablet, smartphone, text and social media became important ways of communication. Online and mobile text messaging came in. And although there was communication, people still continued to have conversation. And now you and I are addressing Generation Y. And that
Generation Z.
Generation Z, sorry. And that is why today we are spending time thinking of what competencies should we add so that our Generation Z can become better and address its needs in the next century. They're all going to be there till 2080, 2090. Somebody will cross that and go into the next century. Now, look at Generation Z, mobile devices, energy crisis, Arab Spring. Remember, all this happened in the last 10 years. They've produced their own media. They will go into cloud computing. They're currently employed in other part-time jobs or new apprenticeships. They look for security and stability. And you and I worry, they become technoholics, entirely dependent on IT. Remember, we see our children all the time stuck to their phones, right? They're career multitaskers and seamlessly go from one organization to another organization. And very recently, I learned about the pop-up businesses. And I found it quite surprising, but the young Generation Z was completely comfortable with it. Then they talk about Google Glass, graphene, nano computing, 3D printing, driverless cars. Then they talk about handheld communication devices. Remember, way back in the baby boomers, they had a telephone exchange. Now it was handheld. Now they communicate FaceTime, and like right now we are on Zoom, they communicate. Next, Surya. Now, 21st century competencies. Now, let's look at it. As teachers and educators, we have to consider COVID-19 situation. It's the cusp of change in educational delivery. Today, you and I are talking over Zoom, and we are able to connect with over thousands of people on Zoom. Would that have been possible in one single room? Plan and prepare for a social curriculum. Plan and prepare for a school curriculum. You and I are thinking, we are scratching, what would the school curriculum suitable to 21st century be, including emergencies like COVID. Just the other day, there was a news item that another virus has started. We don't know how long COVID is going to take us through, whether it's going to be this year or next year. but we all have to be ready for emergencies. You know, so therefore our school curriculum has to be based on 21st century learning, including emergencies and health crisis. Remember, none of us spoke about health crisis till now. We only spoke about illnesses. We had some talk about vaccinations, but none of us at schools ever talked about medical emergencies like a pandemic. View the journey of competencies required over the ages. We have to know over the ages what happened, right from the agricultural age till today. So then competency development becomes easier. Skills become easier for us to understand because we have to address Generation Z, Generation Z. View the journey is important. We have to know how come we've reached so far and what are the changes and the differences right now. Then we have to view contemporary competencies. We have to view contemporary competencies. Look around, what is needed? We have to understand and look at it from a local point of view, again with a global perspective. What is it my student needs right now? Which is the competency the child needs in terms of local need with a global perspective? And then focus on technology as the leverage. Look at us. We are on technology. We're talking to each other on technology. Our children are learning on technology. Let's have an open mind towards technology. It is difficult, but it's not that difficult. It's not impossible. It just needs a little time. And let's try and understand a little more about technology. Next, Surya. Now, the new order skill. The World Economic Forum, comprising of very eminent doctors, professors, businessmen, industrialists, teachers, journalists, filmmakers, all meet in Davos every December. I wonder if they will meet this year, but they've been meeting till last December. And there they discuss what are the skills that our students require for the success of personal, individual, and organizations. So therefore, in 2015, I wish you would give this a closer look. In 2015, the first one was complex problem solving, 2, coordinating with others, 3rd, people management, 4, critical thinking, 5, negotiation with people, again, people oriented, quality control, excellence, service orientation to create perfect services, judgment and decision making, active listening, creativity. Now let's look into 2020, how things have been studied to be different. Complex problem solving continues, but look at critical thinking, which was number 4, has come up to number 2 in 2020 today. Look at creativity, which was number 10 in 2015, has come up to 3rd place in 2020. People management, which was number 3 in 2015, has become 4th. Coordinating with others was 2nd in list in 2015, has become 5th in 2020. And they've added in 2020 emotional intelligence. You know, it wasn't there in 2015. Emotional intelligence has been spoken about in the last 3 years. Now look at judgment and decision making, number 8. Now here in 2020 is number 7. Service orientation, number 7 has come down to number 8. Negotiation from number 5 has come down to number 9. And look at another new word, cognitive flexibility. Cognitive, the mind,
Learning flexibility.
activity of the mind creates a wider landscape for the mind. So you look at this. Now, let's look at complete left. And on the left, when you see your 2020 skills. And when you see your 2020 skills, first one is analytical thinking. Analytical thinking, not alone by itself, both together, analytical thinking and innovation. Active learning and learning strategies. That's for us teachers, educators. Active learning, experiential learning, learning strategies. The third one is creativity, originality, and initiative. Technology, design, and programming. Critical thinking and analysis. Complex problem solving. New thing added here, leadership and social influence. Emotional intelligence continues to be there. Reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. Look at the new word that has come in. Reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. So look at the difference, 2015, 20, and 22. And what is declining? Let's look at a few of the declining areas. It's not that they have to be removed, but then these are not so important as they used to be. Manual dexterity, I would still think it's important. Endurance and precision, I would still think this is important. Memory, verbal, auditory, spatial abilities, management of finances, material resources, technology installation and maintenance, reading, writing, math and active listening, management of personnel. I think these are still important, but overall is the growing area, the one in 22 skills. So we cannot do away with the declining area because we deal with schools. And therefore, in a larger context, they may not find some place, but in schools, all these areas are important.
Have to be worked, yeah, because they are for initial job. When you join the job, these are the initial competencies needed. The declining ones are the initial competencies, level 1. And then you have the level 2, level 3, level 4 competencies, which we'll talk later. All right.
We are the foundations, foundational level.
Foundational, yes.
So we have to be very careful. What are the competencies? What are the skills that we put into our school and classroom teaching? Next, Surya. Now, this is important for all of us because, it's not just CBSE that's talking about it, but there's a national skills network that has been talking in the last month, in June. If you look at the date, highlights of the week. And these are news bites from the National Skills Network, the NSN. NSN celebrated the World Middle and Small Industry Day with a virtual panel discussion and social media day with a master class. ASSOCHAM webinar focuses on self-reliance. Atmanirbhar is the talk, is self-reliance through demand-driven skill development. Siemens launches a new digital learning platform, the Citrain Access. Learned Skills launches Avasar for migrant workers counseling. Amazon India is to hire temporary staff in customer service. So look at these news bites from the newspapers and important skill development organizations right now. Next, Surya. Now let's look at this. We have to work in a contemporary milieu, in an environment. We've all been talking of Skill India, Digital India. We listen to it every day on the news and we know a little bit about it. But then let's look at it. Why? Because as educators and teachers and schools, we are not alone. We are not segregated. We march in tandem with the nation. We march to the drums. When school, we march to what the nation wants. And therefore, we have to follow what the country wants out of the school system. It cannot be an X school wants this or a Y school wants this. We have to take everyone along to the March of the Nation. And Skill India program, which was started by the Prime Minister, was inspired by Vivekanand. And Vivekanand was a person who actually encouraged youth. He was very young himself, and he encouraged youth to take up places of responsibility. He worked on personality and character building. And he's a very, very important person in the history of education of India. And I would ask all of you to listen to his Chicago address. It's available on YouTube. And indeed, it is very interesting to know that in the previous century, he was talking about character development. Now, I'd like to read to you, share with you the first two lines. For every individual, not just the student, but also the teacher, you have to grow from the inside out. None can teach you. None can make you spiritual. There is no other teacher but your own soul. Remember Atmanirbhar? Remember this. A nation becomes what its young people read in their youth. So important. We have the responsibility of young children. A nation becomes what its young people read in their youth. Its ideals are fashioned then. Its goals strongly determined. So what the nation is going to be 20 years down the line is because our children are in school right now, and they have to be taught how to be good citizens of the country and how to be meaningful citizens of the globe. So it starts right now. Next. Now, as educators, you and I, all of us on this platform, have to create a conversation around skills. We have to create a conversation around competencies. You know, we've had a long time talking about examinations. We've talked about the textbook content. We've talked about questions and answers. And now it's the time to talk about competencies. And we have to create this conversation around us. Until then, it will really, be taken over by textbook learning. Somehow we have to integrate the skills into our textbook learning too. 21st century skills comprise skills, abilities, and learning dispositions that have been identified as being required for success in the 21st century society and workplaces by educators, business leaders, academics, and governmental agencies. This is part of a growing international movement focusing on the skills required for students to master in preparation for success in a rapidly changing digital society. Digital society. Many of these skills are also associated with deeper learning, which is based on mastering skills such as analytical reasoning, complex problem solving, and teamwork. These skills differ from traditional academic skills in that they are not primarily content and knowledge based. They are based on, they have a mixed and amalgamation of learning to know knowledge, content, and mixing it with learning to do, that is competencies and skills, learning to be together, to live together, learning to be with, that's teamwork, learning to live with others, and learning to be, that is the spiritual quotient, to learn about yourself and your life in this world. So it's important that the 4 pillars of learning, learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live together are important and are included in the curriculum. Now, the world is very complicated and changing. The challenges we face today are not the same challenges young people will face tomorrow. So we have to anchor through timeless teaching, learning principles. Nobody taught us COVID would come. We never discussed the pandemic. See, it has come. And therefore, this is a good way to understand that timeless teaching, learning principles have to be somehow incorporated into the system. Health is such an important part. Yes. Now, why skills? Contemporary working spaces are changing. You know, I've met young Generation Z students who work from hotels, who work from coffee day. They've taken up spaces there. And I wondered, how do you work in a place where you have people coming in for coffee all right through the day? But our Generation Z has adapted. Look at the changes that are happening. Now, global media and entertainment. What an exponential change in 2 decades. Imagine. And look at Netflix. On a phone, we can have Netflix, we have WhatsApp, we have our mails. Everything is on on our cell phones. Financial services and investment sector is changing. Everything has become net banking. We only use a card these days. Very few people carry cash. Sales and manufacturing will need new skills such as technological literacy. Mobile, internet, and cloud technology impact the way we work. Artificial intelligence, 3D printing, and advanced material are still in their early stages of use, but the pace of change will be fast. And then change won't wait for us. Business leaders, educators, and governments all need to be proactive in upskilling and retraining people so everyone can benefit from fourth industrial revolution. The next. Now, this is an interesting framework. This was designed by Cisco. It's known as the Partnership in 21st Century Skills. It's a framework, and there is a very interesting book that you might like to read. And you'll understand, especially how schools changed. You know how schools changed over months when this framework was applied to the school. And it's indeed a very interesting way how all teachers and students and principals, but all together. Now, the learning environment is there, the professional development is there, curriculum and instruction is there, standards and assessment are there. But if you look at the green strip here, talks about core subjects, the core subjects of science, humanities, the commerce, mathematics will all be there, but will include 21st century themes, And in these core subjects and 21st century themes will be added life and career skills in the red box, learning and innovation skills in the yellow box, and information media and technology skills in the purple box. So this is what the P21 framework from Cisco advises about. And I would really appreciate if you read the book. I'll just write down the name in the chat box. Next. Now, if you look at the 21st century skills, competency, readiness for work, you know, look at the skills that they talk about: learning and innovation, the 4 C's, critical thinking and problem solving, creativity and innovation, communication, collaboration. Remember what the Economic World Forum had said? Something very similar. But they chalked out these 4 areas: digital literacy, information literacy, media literacy, ICT literacy, and very recently, in the last 2 years, we've been talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science analysis. Now, do read through the same book. Thank you for being late. You'll understand these areas from a laypoint's perspective. And when you talk about artificial learning, you will still be talking about mathematics, psychology, neural studies, statistics, biology, mathematics, computer science, sociology. All these make up the learning of artificial intelligence. You will have to know these subjects, you will have to know these disciplines when you work with artificial intelligence. And look at data science. Data science, you know how Generation Z is involved in this digital literacy. All our young students are involved. And I will put up in the chat box another magazine that talks about artificial intelligence by the Generation Z. And you will find it as teachers very interesting and easy to understand. Career in life, they talk about flexibility and adaptability, initiative and self-direction, social and cross-cultural interaction, productivity and accountability, leadership and responsibility. So look at the areas that have to be fit into our school curriculum. We have to be talking all these that are mentioned and more into our school curriculum. You cannot do it in one lesson, but you can do it in entire year. You can add some in chapters, you can add some in the later chapters, but somewhere right through the year, if you've done this at various levels, perhaps by the end of 1 year, you would have somehow reached out to students and sensitized them about 21st century skills. Next. These are sound bites. You know, sound bites, 21st century sound bites, what are they saying and why is it important? World Economic Forum says, topping this year's list of creativity, collaboration, persuasion, emotional intelligence. And this demonstrates how we work with others and bring new ideas to the table. CBSE has also emphasized on skill development, Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Please do go through this because section 4, chapter 4 of the SDG talks about school education. SDG 4 talks on school education. And the Delors report, I would say humbly, please pick up this report. Learning the Treasures Within was a report created by Delors Commission in 1996 when they were thinking about education for the future. And they talked about the 4 pillars of learning: learning to know, to do, to be, and to live together. If you go to YouTube, you will find a very interesting talk by Dr. Karan Singh for 30 minutes. Do go on to that, and it has been put there by the Delhi Public School, Hyderabad. And you will find it very interesting, especially when you're making a curriculum. When you prepare a curriculum, you will know in your framework what to add. Next, Surya. Now, this is a very interesting chart. And it talks about skills that students need for this 21st century. Let's look at the foundation literacies. Foundational, so important, you can't do away with them. And these apply to core skills. You have to have these core skills right through. The first is literacy, that's reading. 2, numeracy, mathematics. 3rd, look at scientific literacy, not just as a subject, but understanding science and the environment. 4th is ICT literacy. 5th is financial literacy. 6th is cultural and civic literacy. Competencies, how students approach complex challenges every day. Critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, communication, collaboration. So said P21 and so said the World Economic Forum. So you see 7, 8, 9, 10 are common everywhere. Now, along with all this, look at character qualities. how students approach their changing environment, and look at character building. You know, Vivekanand always spoke about character building and how important school education is for character building. And how do you build character? And how do you infuse values in the curriculum? Look at number 11, curiosity, asking questions. It's difficult, but sometimes students have to be coached. Ask questions, ask questions. And it does not matter if we don't know the answers, we'll find the answers and we are co-partners in learning. We'll do it together. Initiative. Look at how character involves initiative building, taking the first step. 13, persistence and grit, holding on in difficult times, holding on. You know, having that confidence to persist. Number 14, adaptability. How to adapt well. You know, how to adjust to changing situations like we are in COVID times. How everyone has adapted. It may have been difficult, but we've all been persistent. We've had the grit, and all teachers have adapted to online teaching and learning, including the students. Students are smarter than us. They know, they're quite happy where online learning is concerned. They're comfortable with technology. Leadership. Leadership is not just the school head, or it is not a teacher. It is every individual in the school who is a leader. So leadership qualities make up a part of character building. And number 16 and number 6 on the other side, and the pink one, cultural and civic literacy, social and cultural awareness. It's become such an important part of our lives today. You know, when you have race, you have issues of gender. We've never discussed, our society has never opened up to understanding the lives of various races. We have never talked about gender qualities and what is gender. You know, the understanding of human beings. And we've not talked about religion. We've not talked about social customs, about, you know, so many of them right across the globe. And therefore, it is now time to start talking about social and cultural awareness and also civic literacy, how to be good students, effective citizens of this world. Next. Now I'm going to share with you just alternative, just to share with you, you know, what it is all about. Let's look at the third line. Scientific literacy. What is it? The ability to use scientific knowledge and principles to understand one's environment and test hypotheses. Children have to know, you know, science studies, and I think having a good science background helps children in their future. It can be a little daunting when some children find it difficult to comprehend, but doesn't matter. Over time and good teachers, they will understand. Let's look at financial literacy. Ability to understand, apply conceptual and numerical aspects of finance in practice. I've understood from various places that young children, classes 11 and 12 students, open their own bank accounts. They also invest in stocks and other financial equipment. Let's look at cultural and civic literacy. The ability to understand, appreciate, analyze, and apply knowledge of the humanities. It's high time that humanities takes a center spread, along with, of course, computer learning, technology, maths and science. But I think in the last 2 decades, we've given a lot of attention to computer sciences, mathematics, which is fine. But somewhere, humanities has taken a back seat. Social sciences is so important because it tells you about the roots. It talks to you about the roots. It talks to you about your own being. And for some reason, the humanities have really not risen as much as they should have. If we look at communication, the ability to listen to, understand, convey and contextualize information through verbal, non-verbal, visual, and written means. Important to have good communication skills. Look at initiative, ability, and desire to proactively undertake a new task or goal, to do things on your own. And then let's look at adaptability, ability to change plans, methods, opinions, or goals in light of new information. I think students have to be given certain tasks where you give them sudden information and ask them to perform a certain task on quick information rather than telling them a week in advance or 1 month in advance, this is what we will. And then give them time. Give them time also. You know, children need time sometimes. Both things. Give them sudden work, quick work on the spot, and also after teaching, give them some time to kind of, you know, just digest, to assimilate all that they have learned. Teachers and students need that little time. Next slide, Surya. Now, this is something, how to teach the 21st century skills and competencies. I think everyone on this platform is experienced enough, and all of you have put in a long time in teaching and learning. But we'll just quickly take over how, you know, it's up to you. Basically, when you prepare your curriculum, you will have to put the 4 pillars, you will have to put all the skills, you'll have to put all the values, you'll have to put all character building exercises, you will have to put physical education, dance and drama and fine arts and everything that comprises of school education. And then you will have to create a curriculum right from the start. Now, if you look at the green or the blue colored ones, they talk about character qualities. Look at all the character. These are the qualities that make up character. And we all stand up because of good character, strong character, bravery, you know, courage, patriotism, empathy, sympathy, knowing people, respect for races, respect for the elderly, love for the young ones. All this is character, good character. And on the right-hand side in yellow, you see competencies. And all these have to be put together and we have to teach. I'd share with you how to teach all skills. This is not the most perfect. Each teacher has to work it out. Each principal has to work it out along with a team. You know, create your team and then talk about how are you going to teach all skills, and use extraordinary ways, unusual ways of learning. Don't use the same, same old pattern. Look at different kinds of learning. Encourage play-based learning. Play is a very powerful tool for learning. Break down learning into smaller coordinated pieces. Create a safe environment for learning. Develop a growth mindset. Foster nurturing relationships. Allow time to focus. Foster reflecting, reasoning, and analysis. Offer appropriate praise. The entire environment should have praise. It should have positivity. It should have growth. Everyone should be happy coming to your school. Guide a child's discovery of topics. Child's discovery of topics, even the teacher's discovery. You're a partner in learning. So both of you have a discovery of topics together, but as a teacher, you can guide. Help children take advantage of their personality and strengths. Again, positivity, positivity all the time. And I would urge each educator to use the best positive words in a school environment. Provide appropriate challenges, like I said earlier, appropriate challenges, short term, long term. Give them, make our children strong. They have to learn to be courageous and strong. They have to weather all kinds of incidents. They have to weather all kinds of challenges. And therefore, you have to give them appropriate challenges. Make them strong and not weak. We have to give them all the strength so that they can take on all the challenges once they grow up. Offer engaged caregiving, tutoring, pastoral care, love to all the students. Provide clear learning objectives. Objectives are clear. Why are we teaching you this? Why are we learning this? Targeting explicit skills. Tell them if they have to climb a tree, they jolly well learn to climb a tree. You know why? Because it teaches them all the skills and all the competencies. It doesn't matter if you fall. If you fall, we are there to hold you. And therefore, you will learn strength. You will pick up the challenges. Use a hands-on approach. Let them do work all the time. Do something. Don't sit, just do something. And I share with you a little experience that I had when I went on a little vacation and I stood waiting for someone to arrive. I saw this little school compound where children were, there was a bridge from one tree to the other tree to the other tree. It was a little forest. And the teachers had made a bridge. First the children had to climb a tree and then from that bridge cross to another tree and then climb a few steps further on the tree and then again cross. And on the other side, there was a little tunnel and they had to go through the tunnel. And it was indeed an obstacle, so to say. But there was nobody telling the children that now you do this, now you do that. Children were working on their own. And I asked them, I said, aren't you a little scared that children will fall? They're climbing so high. And you know what the teacher said? How else will they learn? How else do we prepare them for the future? Children have to fall, and that's how they will learn. If you keep protecting them all the time, we are there, all of us as protectors, yet we have to provide them challenges to grow. Next. Now, these are some competencies. If you look at it, let's read it out together wherever we are. On the left-hand column, these are just competencies employers will seek in 21st century. People will look forward to these competencies. Let's look at it and we read it together. Communication skills, honesty. Look at the word honesty and integrity, so important. Work and personal ethics, so important. Your value systems, teamwork skills, how to get along with people. Transparency, no secrets, everything is yours. Interpersonal skills, love and care for everyone. Self-motivation, initiative taking. Don't wait for somebody to tell you what to do. You take initiative, isn't it? Strong work ethics. Important to do your work with ethics. Ethical work always gives you a good night's sleep. Analytical skills. The ability to look at something, break it up, analyze it, synthesize it, and create a complete understanding. Technology skills, which are coming up in a very big way. Organizational and managerial skills. Small little things that students can do. Organizing a fete, organizing a little something in school, a little, maybe a cultural show, or a small little activity in the classroom. Managerial skills comes along with that. Creative minds, think, read, find out, watch, watch your film. Creative minds. Time management, important. Values. Develop a futuristic vision, not only for ourselves, but our students. Teach them how to look ahead of time. And general information, general knowledge is so important. Now let's look at competencies. Leadership, ethics, accountability, adaptability, personal productivity, people skills, self-direction, social responsibility, social competence, skills, resilience, the grit, perseverance, initiative, cross-cultural skills. You'll be working with people from some other country, some other race we don't know. Responsibility, and look at these self-hyphened words. self-assessment, self-awareness, self-confidence, self-control, self-direction, self-leadership. And if you look at the competencies here, we've read them before, the 4 C's: critical thinking, communication, creativity, collaboration, caring competencies, empathy, and look at technology. We've just read all about it. And it's coming up in a very big way, especially artificial intelligence, understanding of it, machine learning, understanding of what machine learning is about, data science, deep learning, deep understanding. We have to prepare our students for all this very soon. Next. Thank you so much. That was really interesting. And I've enjoyed myself, and I hope I've been of some use to all of you. Thank you, everyone.
And please write in. This is my number. That's Vinita's number. That's my email ID. If you want some detail, do write in. Otherwise, write into our company. All right. Excellent. You could do that. Anything you want. And we'll send you all the material. Send us your email IDs. We'll send you the material, all the PPTs, all the videos, everything. So thank you very much. Before we say bye, let's have Richa take over.
Surya, can I have a second, please?
Please, please.
I had said that there was this book, The Leader in Me. The Leader in Me by Stephen Covey.
Yes.
And this is an experiment. It's a program based on a hugely successful initiative carried out at A.B. Combs Elementary School in North Carolina. And here they talked about the 7 habits of highly effective people to a group of students. And the book describes how it was successful, and it could be created for a larger number of students. So if I could just share it with you, it's here. If you can see it. Is it visible, Surya?
So you have to put it on your face, Vinita.
Okay, like that.
Even closer, closer.
It's on my nose.
Yeah, now we can see. Yeah, just tilt a little, tilt a little. Yeah, now we can see. Just tilt a little. Yeah, just be like that. The Leader in Me by Stephen R. Covey. Another book by Stephen R. Covey is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, must-read book.
So this is a must-read book for all school leaders, and I'm sure you'll find it really interesting. I did. And thank you.
So over to Dr. Richa Sood. Any questions or anything you want to elaborate, anything you want to articulate, anything, just have.
The thing is, I was actually reading the questions also, and we have got so many questions in chat, but the question was coming and the next slide was the answer. This was the beauty of this webinar.
Thank you very much.
I think nothing could be better than this. And if Rajat ji is there, so I would like to invite him also. And before that, I would say something. I think I am more than 100% sure that you all have got all the answers. As this question was coming and the slide was coming, that was the beauty of the show. And the thing is, I would say, we have got all the answers. I think the participants can raise the hand and to show us that they have got the all answers. Please raise your hands, send the reactions. And I think everybody's writing, wonderful, eminent speakers. Thank you. Nice session, informative session. And I must say, nothing could be better than this to understand 21st century competences. I think we all are truly, truly, truly fortunate to have you, Surya and Vinita ma'am. And I think we have got which we could not even imagine or we could not even think of. And you both have amazingly articulated and sensitized us through highly valuable insight for all the domains of 21st century competences. And the 16 skills slide, and I think that was commendable. And I think I am nobody to speak for Vinita ma'am and Surya because I am like nothing in front of you. You both are greater than the great.
Thank you very much, everybody. Let's hear Mr. Rajat Gupta of the Full Marks Corporation to say a few words. Over to you, Raj.
Thank you, Surya sir. Thank you, Vinita ma'am. Thank you, Richa ma'am. On behalf of Full Marks Private Limited, I am extremely delightful of all our participants for showing such a tremendous response for today's webinar. It's their presence and participation in such a huge number that have made this webinar such a wonderful one.
Yes.
We have got the participations, the presence from throughout the world, like from UAE, from Oman, Kuwait, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Saudi Arab, Singapore, Nigeria, and every part of India. I'm again thankful to Surya sir, Vinita ma'am to have spared their time for this webinar.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure of full marks to have you and Vinita ma'am as our speakers for today.
Thank you.
The knowledge both of you have shared during this webinar, I am very much hopeful that it will prove to be helpful to all our faculty members. I personally have learned many new things from today's webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, and once again, you are always so cooperative and so supportive. I'm really thankful. To all our participants, to all our faculty members and our guests, we will be happy in assisting you in future also.
And please take all the PPTs and videos from Dr. Richa Sood.
Yeah.
I will definitely pass
all
on.
The best. Thank you. Good luck to everybody.
And I must mention one thing, 508 participants were there on the Zoom platform and other platform, that is YouTube and the website. Almost more than 1,000 people are watching currently.
Thank you.
That was a great. And thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
All the best. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Surya.
Thank you.
Thank you, the entire team.
Thank you, entire team. Thank you. It was really good. Thank you.
And Rajatji, thank you, because you have taken
My
this
pleasure,
initiative.
ma'am.
You
It's
have
my
taken
pleasure.
this initiative and you infused the things
My
in
pleasure,
me.
ma'am.
So I could have taken all the things little ahead. It was you only.
Thank you. It's our pleasure at full marks. It will be really motivational for us to conduct such a webinar in future also. We have got a tremendous response.
Definitely. With Vinita ma'am and Surya, definitely. We will be fortunate again.
So we've had a good time, Richa. I've really enjoyed myself.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. So kind of you, so nice of you.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.